right, so Kane and myself are back now with Coach's Combat Corner. I know we took last week off due to a lot of events that were going on, but myself and Kane are here now because Coach Hov is overseas doing Coach Hov things.
Yes.
So the big fight that we missed was
Leon Edwards and Usman.
Leon Edwards and Usman. Did you watch?
So I ended up seeing it afterwards. The thing that I saw most, what Edwards was doing, which I thought was really good, he was more relaxed.
Yes.
Like in the striking, he was just on another level. And that's what I try to emphasize to everyone, like in the gym, like to be relaxed when you're throwing. Like you have to be. Your body has to be. Number one, you're not telegraphing. Number two, you're not getting your muscles tired. You're letting your body mechanics do all the work. And it's coming out of nowhere. Like you one day, one minute you're relaxed, and then all of a sudden, yeah, punches thrown at you. So it's very deceiving, like coming at you. I saw Edwards doing that the whole time. He's very relaxed with his stand up. And another big thing that he was doing, he was throwing when they would get close to the distance. Like Usman would come in, and it would almost be almost all the time where Edwards would throw kicks when he was in kicking range, and then when Usman got a little closer in punching range, Edwards was always throwing first, like throwing nice and light and throwing something. But it was hard to tell where they were coming from because how relaxed he was. But I teach this a lot. There's that punching range that you get to, and it's up to you to find it, or you already know what it is, like depending on who you're fighting. But when you get there, you're doing something. You're not sitting there. Number one, you're not waiting unless you're counter striking. You're moving your head, moving to the side, or attacking. Meaning you're throwing first. So when you get there, it's like there's no turning back. Yeah. It's like you're doing something. You're throwing, you're moving, unless you're counter punching, which is a whole nother story. But when you get there, you're throwing, and then that's what I saw Leon do a lot. Was right there. He would throw his hands. Even before that, he was throwing his kicks. And man, all those kicks, like people think it may be easy to kick, but dude, when you kick, like your leg gets jacked up so much. Even though if you're hitting something like softer, like you really are hitting the body. You're hitting muscle tissue and then bone. Like that messes you up as well. So, but Edwards was doing that perfectly, like nice and relaxed, or at the right timing, throwing stuff, constantly throwing stuff. That is a lot of things to the guy coming in. The guy coming in has to worry about, like something's gonna come to me. It doesn't let them get in the rhythm. If you just walk in the punching range, nothing gets thrown at you, then you get a lot of courage in there, But when you start throwing, the guy's coming in or in that punching range, you discourage the other guy,
right?
Big time. You throw him off his timing. Now you have to worry about your stuff versus really getting into his own groove of like throwing punches. So there's a lot that comes with that, with throwing first, and obviously the relaxation, and then with being relaxed, the punches come out so quick, and you're not straining your muscles, so you're able to go, do that hard fight if you have to.
Do you think those body kicks that Edwards was throwing had a big effect on how Usman performed? Not only that, but it seems like he didn't actually get a chance to take off on his game plan on Usman's end.
Yeah, throwing that stuff. Again, if you don't get a reaction, like there's ways, like if somebody throws a body kick on me, I'm either trying to catch or I'm trying to make the other guy pay for that.
Right.
But if I don't do any of that, then the kicks are coming out really fast. Obviously, if they're hitting like an arm and the body, that's gonna take some damage. You know, it is. You know, after a while, your arms are gonna get beat up a little bit. If they're hitting your sides, your torso, that's gonna do some damage there. But if they're so quick, you can't even catch them, you can't even react off of them. Um, it's more of again throwing the timing off your opponent.
Right.
Like he's not being able to be set to do something in return because that stuff is coming off so quick.
Yeah, Leon's kicks were just so fast.
Mm-hmm.
He had no time to
Yes,
react.
yes,
And it seemed like
yep,
Usman was a little scared to get caught with that head kick again because he was going leg kick, body, and then he went up high a
yep.
few times. And it just, Usman just seemed a little apprehensive.
Yeah, that's a good game plan. You know, it's a lot of psychology based in that as well. Like you throw in a lot of kicks either to the leg or to the body, boom, 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 and once they start hurting, you know, the guy's like, okay, now I really got to block this one. If it does come to to my body, then that lowers the hand a little bit to get the head.
Even the head
So
exposed a little bit.
yeah, yeah, that's a good it's good game planning right there. You know, as well, trying to get that high kick again.
So let's say you were in Usman's corner. What's next? What do you advise?
As far as what? As far as coming up,
As
as
far
far
as
as another fight or
maybe
to
training.
training. Obviously, I would say beat him. You know, because he was coming forward. I would say you have to throw first. When you get in there, you have to throw first. Which he was doing sometimes. But Leon, he was just so good on the stand up. You know, it wasn't doing much. Usman was throwing one to two punches, you know, and then going into to the wrestling. Depending on if they worked on it or not, I would have said as well because he stayed in that double leg position on the fence a lot.
Yeah.
And I saw him do it once to switch to a single and dump him. I would have said that or worked on that. Going to the double, you get chopped up against the fence. Go to that single leg and start dumping. Um, the double leg is so hard. You really have to like number one, lock your hands underneath the other guy's butt. Like that's where you need to get it. Or underneath the kneecaps, like ideal. Right? So you have to like lock your hands there, and then it takes a big like heap of strength to like pull back and lift them up off the cage, right? Because you want to get them away from the cage to have them go down. So guys being pressed up against the cage, like it doubles their weight, you know? Like it just makes it that much heavier. Again, you got a long fight. You want to conserve the energy. You want to have everything
Yeah.
right technically. So for me, and what I teach is also is to go in. Double leg's not there. Like it's okay. You don't have to like. It's not make it or break it. It really isn't. Go to that single leg. You know, dump them from there, or chain wrestle from there. Dump away from the cage. It doesn't work. Switch in to a trip. Lift that leg up high. Like so, there you got to chain wrestle. You got to do a little bit of work to make it easier on yourself, right? To get that takedown. Um, so I would say that I would have said, you know, you got to throw first when you're there, and then um, either go into the wrestling or fake the wrestling, but just throw a little more things, you know, to get Edwards to mess up his timing,
Right.
right? So what can you do to mess up his timing? And that's normal throwing first. I'm sure he's going to be really comfortable there, but then those shots, those fake shots,
Mhm.
like really going for like having Edwards go up and down kind of thing. You know, have those hands go just a little bit lower. Then what do you have upstairs? You have something upstairs, or you know, the reshot. And again, that's different combinations. You know, up down kind of thing. But it's again, you're throwing him off. He's reacting to you. you're controlling the fights how you want it,
Yeah.
to play. You're controlling it. I'm controlling the other guy, and I'm controlling myself. I'm controlling what's happening in the fight.
Right. So
Yeah.
Dana White announced that Leon Edwards' next opponent, no matter what, Colby Covington. How do you see that, and do you like that matchup?
Yeah, I like the matchup. I think it'll. Yeah, man. I think it'll be a good matchup. I think Edwards is doing so much better on the wrestling.
Hmm. Definitely.
He's really like dedicated himself to the game of wrestling, where even he's doing different things and seeing different opportunities to get his offense in. Right, it's not just working on his defense; like he's actually like doing some stuff to work on his offense. Um, I think his stand up is very good. He's nice and comfortable there. He's nice and fast. He doesn't wait around. He looks for different shots. Um, so I think the matchup would be great. Kobe having a good stand up and having good wrestling as well. So
All right.
okay,
Oh,
I'm
go ahead.
I'm really watching. I'm really watching like Pokemon right now.
Pokemon.
Like, dude, all day. I'm
Pokemon.
playing Pokemon Go. My son just gets me into Pokemon, man. This dude watches videos on YouTube of Pokemon all day, and I gotta learn because he's up to here with it.
Yes.
And I'm saying the names wrong and shit, and I don't even know what's what. And he gets mad at me. He's like, "Why don't you're saying the names wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm just not as good as you. I'm trying."
So now you got to learn
So
the Pokemon game.
yeah, dude, I've been doing it for a while, but it's been good. Like I'm I'm getting good stuff from it. I'm learning the world. I see how it translates to what we're doing here.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Does anybody look at you
and
funny while you're out there looking for Pokemon?
I don't know.
No, like,
Past I'm past that. Like
what the hell
I've
is this guy doing?
even like some of the fighters in the gym, like one of them, I was talking to them about doing a community like battle. And one of them was like, "Oh, you play Pokemon?" Like I was wondering about getting into that, but I felt weird about people looking at me doing that.
Yeah.
And I told him, "Don't care what other people think. Like never. Like do you? If you liked it when you were a kid, like it now. Like it doesn't matter. Nobody, don't care what people think." So
How
yeah,
deep are you going
obviously,
into Pokemon?
oh, dude, like,
Are you going like the
bro,
NFL player that stopped playing NFL and just went online strictly trading cards? There's a guy who quit
oh no,
NFL and that's all he
not
does.
not yet because I don't know that yet. And not to say that I will or not. Like I don't know. I'm just taking it in. Like it's something for me and my son to do.
Yeah.
Like I love that he gets the different elements of like the earth, and he knows what beats what. He knows what different things evolve into, and it's just like us, right? We are always evolving. Um,
Blake
so
Martinez,
okay,
21 years old, retired from the
no
NFL,
man,
buys and sells Pokemon cards.
dude, it's a big again, like whatever you're into, like do it. Obviously, like um, but Pokemon has it's a gigantic world of like really of knowledge. Like if you want to like everything you can apply to what you're doing on this earth, no matter what you're doing. Like if you have a passion for something, there's a way you can apply it, to what we're doing.
There you go.
And I'm like, dude, my son watches like YouTube videos all day. Like so, it's knowing different people. So I'm trying to get as much knowledge as I can. That's what I'm doing with him. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
You learn something every day. See.
yeah.
All right. So, Kane, I also know that you were heavily watching the NCAA tourney.
I did. Yeah, watched the NCAA's, the college wrestling national. the college nationals. It's always a great tournament to watch. Like
Yeah.
if you love competition, if you love yeah, just competition in general. It's funny. Last year I was in jail watching it, so it was a good thing to like be at home,
To
watch
watch it
it.
from home at your
Yes,
comfort
yes,
with your
yeah,
favorite popcorn or snack.
yes. So um,
What do you take away from the NCAA tournament?
I take away the from NCAA tournament always that it doesn't matter where you are in the rankings. Like anybody can get it. Like anybody can win this. Like anybody can win the tournament, right? So like anything's possible. Like it doesn't matter if you rank number one, if you rank like 15. It really doesn't matter. Like it's all everyone's 0-0 now. Going in, obviously like the top guys usually do win, but you get a lot of upsets throughout the tournament, and that's just what comes with it because they stayed a lot in the tournament um, that the regular season does not matter. It matters in this tournament, and that's what it is. And I think of that as a fight. Like anything can happen in a fight. It doesn't matter rankings or anything. Like it doesn't matter. One move, one thing can change the trajectory of the fight or the match. So I get that from it. Like it doesn't matter where you are.
It's how
Anybody
you
can
finish.
lose. Anybody can win. But at that moment, those 3 days is when you gotta bring it. Like that's when you bring it right there. And some people do, man. Some people, that were the year before that where they were number one, the champions, and some people got beat. That's just the way it goes. Um, but I guess what I can take from it, like as far as like technique wise, where I saw some guys get into some trouble, and I talk about this at AKA a lot. When you have control of a guy, um, and he doesn't move on you, whether he rolls or does some kind of grandy, um, there's a point in time where you gotta really just let it go and kind of like go with the flow versus being attached to somebody and
Rolling with
letting them kind of throw or letting them roll, and then now what are you doing? Now you're along for the ride versus letting it go, having them just kind of move, and you just kind of like float on top of them, kind of thing. So it's I talk about this a lot, man. When we get in on a single leg, like, and I try to have everybody in good position. That means head up, as if we're squatting. Like I want a single leg like that. I don't want a single leg with my head's down and now I got somebody's weight on me.
right.
I get to a place like that where it's a lot of work. I'm carrying a lot of weight. I'll like just let it go, right? Because where are you if you let it go? Now both of you are standing,
Right.
right? So it's really really realizing to like let go of a little bit to keep yourself in a better position. Um, let go so you don't have to go with the person. So there's a lot of different positions that we discussed that you really do have to like really realize like now it's time for me to let go and just kind of react. And if it has to be, then we just both stand up versus getting rolled or something and then being attached to somebody and
Then
now
you're
you're
not
along for
in a
the
better
ride.
position.
Now you're in a scramble. Now who's gonna win? Who's gonna be in the top position? Like who knows, right?
Yeah. I've seen you
Yeah.
actually go with this. I've seen you actually train this with Deron Wynn when he was gonna fight. I think Phil Halls, and you guys were heavily wrestling. And you just told him just let it
Mhm.
go, just let it go with the Granby rolls.
Yeah. Yeah. With the stand up, it's just so it makes it easier because you have the punching, right? So you punch, obviously, hopefully their hands come up. If they
Right.
don't, then you're connecting. So you have to throw hard and throw to where the guy's even like reacting. Now his hands come up. Now you can get to that leg,
Mm.
right? You get to that leg, but you want to be like your back be nice and straight, head up, Once you're like this, now I'm carrying your weight. Now I got some work to do, right? How much work you want to put in to get this takedown versus like have it be just so technically sound that you don't have to work as hard and you get the same result,
Gotcha.
right? And if you know like the work seems really hard and you don't want to do that yet, or you got a long fight, you don't want to do that for the whole fight, or you're just tired already and you don't want to like put in the extra effort, like because you're already in that position,
Mhm.
it's okay to let it go, let it go. And what does that do? Now you're both standing, right?
If you
But
have a chance
now,
to reset.
but now the guy has in his head, okay, he has a shot now. Like I know he has. So now you can start adding the fake to the shot, try to get those hands down, and then that'll open up your stand up.
Nice.
So you're really not doing much, but you're making your opponent react to what you're doing. And even if I'm not that good of a striker as my opponent, but if I'm making his put his hands down just a little bit, like that's
Just
gonna bring
making
my
it better.
striking up. Yeah, yeah. And then if he doesn't react to the shot, his hands stay here, well then the shot's there. You're just hitting a reshot. So you always have an option.
Cool. And then, of
Yeah.
course, you weren't with us the week prior because you were out racing. You were off road
Yes.
racing.
Yeah, so I raced in the mid 400. I raced for Oak Grove Technologies. So actually, Oak Grove Technologies was my first sponsor in the UFC. So my first fight in the UFC, they sponsored
Growth
me.
technology.
Yeah, yeah. So the guy, my good buddy, Mike Ross, took me out there and asked if I wanted to race a long time ago, and I was like, yeah, yeah. I'm down.
You're hooked.
The, the first year I did it, um, dude, I got beat up in that car so bad. Like I was like, this is worse than a fight. Like you just get shaken up in the car so much that you can only push the gas as much as you can like take physically, right? But you can't take it physically like enough, then you gotta like let off. You really do. You have to like go a little slower so you can take it because it just shakes the crap out of you. Like
Jeez.
that's all it does,
And how
right?
long? How long is this race?
So it's a mid 400, it's 400 miles. We do by lap. So each lap is about 120, 130 miles through the desert, through the Nevada desert.
So these
Like
cars
20
don't have
minutes.
AC.
Well, we wear helmets. And it was nice outside, anyways. But we wear helmets, and then in our helmet, there's air blowing in our helmets, and we have our our radios on as well, so we can communicate with the co-driver. So
And your
um,
co-driver was Chuck Liddell.
my co-driver was Chuck Liddell. I wasn't sure if he was going to make it or not. Like it was a thing. Like he's on his way. We just don't know if he's going to be here on time. And so we had our team members of the car go out first, right? So we wait. It's probably like 2 hour, 3 hour wait till they do a whole lap. But all the cars start coming in, and our guys don't come in yet.
Oh,
So we heard that they had a flat tire. Got some issues with the flat tire. I was like, okay. So when you're out there alone, man, you got to change your own stuff. Like, and nobody can help you. You know, you're like, it's up to you to do it. Get back on the road. So it took them a while. They probably came in like maybe 4 or 5 hours, like after the
yeah.
first lap. So they came in for a while. So I'm like, okay, I haven't raced in a while. This means there's no pressure. Like we're already really behind. Just make some good time, have fun. So Chick came in. We got dressed in our race suits and stuff, man.
And this is
Finally
Chuck's
came
first
in.
time.
I think this was Chuck's first time at the race. Yes, yes.
Okay.
And he asked if I was driving the whole way, and I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, but do you want to drive? Like, I'll switch if you want to.
Okay.
And he's like, no, it'll be good. I asked him if he got car sick last year. The co-driver got car sick, started throwing up like in the car as
Oh
we're racing.
gosh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was like, I can't do this. I gotta keep going. I can't like so. Um, we get in, dude. We start driving. Uh, we're doing well. Like I'm getting it pretty good. Getting a good rhythm going, good time going. Hit one bush once, and I was on Chuck's side, so he's like a bush like in his lap. He's filming the whole time, and me and him aren't even talking. Like, it's just more like keep going, we're good, kind of thing. And then I would say close to like the middle or the middle of the end of the race, I hit this bump where we went sideways, and then like I caught it. We're in these buggies. There's like buggies with like super like big suspension and everything. But
Yeah.
I hit this bump, we went sideways. I caught it, like I saved it. We were good. And then for some miles, I felt something wrong in the back. Like
Oh,
I hit the gas, and I would start like the tail end would start like sliding a little bit.
so it was
Um,
loose. The rear end was loose.
something was loose back there. I was like, hey, it doesn't feel right when I hit the gas. It just doesn't go straight. Doing that for a while, a couple miles like that. And then all of a sudden it was like hit the gas, and there was like nothing back there. I'm like, okay, I think it's time to pull over, time to check this out. I pull over as much as I can in the sand. Um, is my cat here. Um, and what happened with there was no tire on it at all on the driver's side, the rear. There was the lip of the rim had come off as well. So we went down so we were
Oh,
racing this for a while. Yeah, the lip of the rim was actually off as well, and that was all the way in the sand. Okay, we gotta we gotta find a way to change this stuff, and get back as soon as possible. Um, so I put a jack underneath the suspension, like they gave us the shitty jacks too. I was like, man, this is like no, this is not race jacks. It's like, okay, this is kind of crappy stuff, but whatever, we'll make it work. Only a jack to do this, or one to like turn it. They even had a gun, but the gun wasn't strong enough to to
take off
jack
the
up the
button.
car.
Oh, okay, to jack it
So
up.
I'm like, this is gonna take some time. So I put it underneath the arm of the suspension where the tire is connected to.
Yep.
I put it underneath that the jack. I jacked it up only a little bit because the sand kept putting the jack down. Right, so I can only jack it up just a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is as far as it's gonna jack up right now, and that's it. Oh, let me put this cat out. I put the jack underneath the arm, the suspension, only enough like where it wasn't moving anymore. Like, okay, this is it. There's no shovel in there. I found a rock like this, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, whatever. I just have to dig. Like, I gotta dig enough dirt out to get the new wheel and the tire on, right?
Oh, okay, I got you.
So it needs to be like a big
Little
deep,
crater. Yep.
and I'm like, Chuck's there, and like, man, I'm like, I can't stop, like I can't give up. I can't have Chuck do it. I can't tell him, hey, do you want to like, dig? Like, no, I need to do this, right? I got us this mess. I got to get us out. I got to make this work. So I dug for a while, dude. It was like just kept digging, like this rock got heavy, like just kept digging, kept digging, kept digging. Finally got off enough room where I thought I could do it, put the tire and the wheel on. I was able to get 3 lug nuts in on the fresh tire, but then the tire still was like this. And the dirt that I cleaned out was straight down. And the jack was right there. So I'm like, I can't dig any more out. Because if I do, the jack's gonna fall. The car's
Right.
gonna fall, and now we're back at square one. So it was just like, and the jack was moving all the way up the arm as well. It's just the way it was working. So that I only had this much more room before the jack moved, and then the car would
That
just
was
fall
it.
again. So I was like, okay, I put 3 lug nuts in, and I was like, okay, how am I gonna get the rest in, like make it nice and flush? I thought, all right, what if, like, I was going through all these scenarios, right, just problem solving the whole time. I was like, what if I get in the car, I go hit it first, and just spin the tires a little bit? Maybe that'll like get it in there. You know, I was like, I don't know, but I did that. It worked.
Damn.
Yes, I was like, oh, thank you, like, thank you for everything. Like, let me put these rests in. Dude, I tightened everything up. This car had no reverse, so we were still stuck. No reverse. I tried to get on first. No. So me and Chuck had to like dig out a little bit of the dirt from the rear tires in the front. We dug out just enough. I rocked the car back like first, neutral, got it out. Like it took us maybe an hour and a half. Like
Oh man.
it was a lot of work to dig and like I tried 2 different jacks that they gave me. So it was like I kept moving, you know, I kept doing stuff and kept trying stuff, but it took a lot of time and it was a lot of work, you know, and it was a lot of like I can't do any more or the car's gonna fall. Like so there was so much into it. But we finally got it out. As soon as we get it out, somebody from my team comes up. Like like soon as we get it out, they come up and then they're like, hey, you guys need help? We're like, no, we just got it done. We just got it out. Thank you. Like um and we ended up finishing the race from there. Like we ended up finishing the race. But in those situations, like it's almost like yes, you can just give up, right? You can just
Yeah.
like say, yeah, like we're done with the race. Like we weren't even like gonna place or anything. Like we're just done, you know, kind of thing. And wait for somebody to come pick us up, and it'll probably be like 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours.
Jeez.
Um, or you can keep working. Like you're never just done, right? You always have options. If you keep working just little by little by little, the outcome will give you what you want.
Yep.
And it did. And it did. And I was very close to like yes, the jack was in the fall and having like to do I'll do that all over again. But man, I was just so happy at just that one moment. Like I kept working. Like I didn't let Chuck like dig out like I had to do it. I had to get us out. I got us in here. Let me do it. Let me get us out. And we did. We finished it. And I felt so accomplished, like just from that. Like that moment was what I needed. Like it took a lot out of me, but I was so happy that I did it all.
That was it.
That we did it. Yeah, yeah. We ended up finishing the race
What'd you
in the middle
place?
of the night. Dude, I don't even know what place but we crossed it. We crossed the finish line. Like we
That's all
finished the
that
race.
matters. We crossed.
Like we were already messed up from the get go,
Yeah.
and for me doing that, like even more, like there's no way unless everybody like did like is completely out of the race as well. So like that was on my mind. My mind was just finishing on our own and driving her home, and we
Nice.
did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool,
So,
man. What's the next
mhm.
one?
Well, the next one's next year. I don't know if Oak Grove if they do any other off-road races. I would like to try different cars on the off-road stuff. It's just a good experience, man. You get around a lot of like-minded individuals.
Nice.
One of the teams that was racing with us was like Green Beret Racing,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, they're just veterans that come on the team to help out to race. You know, veterans that have been through a lot of as you know, as far as just um, the work that they do, you know, for this country, but um, they get them involved in a lot of different stuff, whether it be like sports, obviously racing. So they work on the cars and they go out there and race themselves. Um, so it's just a good community, but um, yeah, man, it's just all about learning. You know, learning, doing the best you can, having a great experience. and just taking away good things from each experience that you do, and that could be anything you do every day. You know.
Yeah. Cool. And we won't take too much of your time, Ken, because I know you're a busy guy, and we've done
Yeah.
30 and change. One last question: any wrestling in your near future? Lucha libre?
As of right now, man, there's no plans right now. With my situation, because the Lucha isn't doing any shows in the U.S. currently,
Uh,
right?
gotcha.
They did one show in the U.S. currently back in November. Um, as of right now, they're and then that was out of nowhere as well. Normally, they only do those shows in Mexico or in South America.
Mm,
Um, I think with more time that that I'm working, helping others, and just doing everyday stuff. I think I will be allowed to hopefully soon go overseas, go to another country, and be able to do some of that stuff. But
gotcha.
um, anytime in the near future, if they do a show in the U.S. for sure.
You're
But
there.
yes, yes,
Cool. All right, Mr.
yeah,
Ken,
man,
thank you for joining us once again on Coach's Combat Corner. We're missing Coach Hov, of course, but hopefully next week he'll be able to attend.
for sure. Thank you, Brian.
No, thank you, bro. Have a safe one.
You too. Thank you.